still got 13 seconds.
We were just going to have a 3-0 vote that Rockland has to sing the national anthem next time or something.
What was that? It was 8 seconds early. I thought it was a minute late.
I think real time.
Bonnie not coming?
Bonnie will not be here. Okay. Welcome everyone to the September 12th, 2024 Western Placer Waste Management Authority meeting. We are going to call our meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Director Halden.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And will the clerk please call the roll?
Director Andriotta,
Here.
Director Halden,
Here.
Director Gore, Director Albert,
Here.
Chairwoman Landon,
Here. And would you please read the statement of meeting procedures?
welcome to the Western Placer Waste Management Authority meeting of September 12th, 2024. Agendas are available on the table outside this meeting room. If you are here to speak on a matter not on the agenda, you may do so during public comment. The board is not permitted to take action on items addressed under public comment. All items on the agenda will be open for the public to address before final action is taken. Accessibility information is provided on the meeting agenda. Please turn off or put in silent mode all cell phones and other electronic devices. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you. Before we move along, I wanted to note that we're going to pull item 8A and hear that at a future date. And with that, we will move on to item 5, public comment. Anyone in the public who would like to make a comment? Okay. Announcements and information, report from the general manager.
Nope. All the way over.
There you go.
There we go. I can do it. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's been a very productive month since we last met. So I'll go over some of the highlights. We have been working very closely with FCC on the change orders and potential amendments, and I think we're very close to a path forward for a mutually agreeable solution. So there'll be more to come on that front. The green ASP composting site is in the final testing phase, so we're anticipating that being in use fairly soon, which will be a big milestone in the project, so we're excited about that. The MRF is, I encourage you all to come and visit it. It's really coming together. The equipment's in there. You know, week by week, you can just see the changes, so it's really showing some good progress. And we're working very close with FCC on phase 3B. We had a really productive meeting today, just making sure that the design is going to be buildable and there aren't going to be any surprises. So I think we have a good process that we've put in place to go forward with that. From the WATMA side, there's staffing news. We're 2 open positions that we're actively recruiting for and interviewing. One is a administrative fiscal officer, so we'll be taking that back from the county, and then the other position is a utility service worker, which will be very helpful for Will over there, and help us cut some of our consulting costs down by just being able to do some of the heavy work ourselves. So we're really excited about that position. RFP for the legal services has been released as of today. Unfortunately, it's good for us, but unfortunate as well that the time is getting closer to the end of the year. Annual odor workshop is coming up on October 29th. You'll be notified well in advance of that. And as a result of last month's meeting, we sponsored the Growth Factory GFX conference on Thursday, October 10th. 10 tickets for that. Look for an email from Emily to you guys if you want to attend. That'll be pretty exciting. Some other projects continue to move forward with Sierra on the Regional Public Safety Training Center. Have had a couple productive meetings. We're pretty close to identifying the location that works for both parties, the size, working through some of the cost details, but I think we're pretty close to having something for board review within the next couple months. It's the ball's sort of in their court at this point, so we're waiting to hear back from them. We had a really interesting presentation from Wisewood Energy, a biomass facility that would take a somewhat problematic material in our wood and obviously burn that and create energy. So that's a project that could be sited on our land that we're exploring. And the LFG to energy RFP is in process. Eric's been working on that, and we're not going to slow that one down either. So it's been a great month, and everything keeps moving along in the right direction.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Any questions for Scott?
No, thank you.
All right, 6B, financial reports.
Thank you, Chair Landon. Your board has the June 2024 preliminary financials in your packet. So that is for last fiscal year, and it is preliminary, so there still could be some adjustments. But I think the highlights here, as had been for the entirety of the fiscal year, is we were tracking above our revenue projections. So at this point, we closed about $4.5 million over what we had projected for revenues. That's very sound. And then on the cost side, we came in at about $21.6 million under budget on our costs. It is important to note that a majority of that, $19.7 million, was associated with construction projects. So those are kind of anomalies. It's not a year-to-year type thing. But our operations, our annual operations budget came in at about $1.9 million under budget. So a great story that more revenue coming in than we projected and less cost than we projected. So we'll bring back the finals when they're ready, or you'll otherwise see them in the audit that will be presented probably later this year. So that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Great. Any questions for Eric? All right, 6C, monthly tonnage reports.
Good evening, Directors, Chairwoman Landon. For the months of July and August, the tonnages and revenue are in your packets. We're showing a slight downtick, and based on projections, 1 or 2 percentage points. Nothing quite alarming, very hard to look at with just 2 data points for the year. It could be attributed to our particularly hot summer that we had in comparison with the last 2 years. And also in July, we did close early in the afternoon because of the truck fire on Athens Avenue, which may have led to lower than projected tonnages in that month. Just for consideration, looking at last year's fiscal year, we showed similar downticks in the first couple months. However, overall, the fiscal year, we're up 1.1% on revenue and 3.6% on tonnage, on MSW tonnage. So nothing to be alarmed about. We'll be watching it closely and bring it back to your board every month for future updates. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Will on that?
No, thanks.
All right, 6D, facility projects update.
Good evening again. As you know, we have a litany of facility projects on our campus, the big one being FCC. Phase 1, the C&D and Green Waste ASP. As you know, C&D has been operating substantially for the whole year now. And as Scott mentioned, the Green Waste is about to be commissioned. So very excited to see that in action. Looking at Phase 2, the maintenance building is substantially complete. Had a good walkthrough earlier this month with the fire marshal. Had a couple punch list items, but did get tentative certificate occupancy. So very pleased about that. Phase 3A, Van Dyke is going hardcore in the MRF. Has about 35 to 40% of the equipment up. Too much at this point to describe individually. As Scott mentioned, I would highly encourage a tour there. It is completely transformed. In addition to that, on August 26th, the WATMA did issue FCC a construction directive to begin design of the fire sprinkler system, the new fire sprinkler system for the MRF, which they are actively engaging right now and should have a design maybe beginning of next month for us to review. Phase 3B, FCC continues to wait for permits to be received and refine their plans for bid. They're looking to start that, in a month, less than a month, it seems. And then on August 16th, staff did send the attached request to Placer County for temporary certificate occupancy and permit approvals relating to the C&D maintenance building and greenways as we negotiate the dedication of roadways easements. All right, the next big project, Module 6 at WATMA for the new landfill cell is proceeding according to plan. No real notable construction updates on that. They're finishing placement of liner and constructing that sump drainage area where all the liquid collects into that we can extract out. And we're looking for significant completion sometime next month. And then the biofiltro pilot update. The latest test results we did get back this week. The biofiltro folks did add a biochar component, which is kind of a purifying element to it. So if you had Jack Daniels like mellowed in, charcoal, kind of like that going on, where they did push the post-worm effluent through this charcoal media, and they did note significant cleanup of the UV transmittance. So light penetration is shining through it better instead of like a black tea. It's more like a nice little green tea. So very excited about that, and we were exploring that more as we head to the tail end of our pilot project. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions on our projects.
Okay, thanks, Will. Any questions? Yeah.
I have one. On the certificate of occupancy, back in December of 2022, the county had sent a substantial conformance letter about the roadway dedications. And I'm just curious, my understanding is that's holding it up right now. I just wondering why it took us so long to get that done if we knew about it for quite a while.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sure. So you're right, Director Albert, is in that substantial conformance letter, it spoke about dedication of easements associated with expansion on the western property. And so those were to be triggered once we started work across the street, which is just now happening. It's one where, as noted in that letter, we're waiting for the county to supply us with meets and bounds. Why it has now come to the forefront is in the permits that FCC received from the county, it did require a dedication of easement along the east side of Fitment, along the MRF side, before they could receive certificate of occupancy. And so now what we're doing is trying to work with the county to split that issue aside, because it is something that FCC cannot grant. It's only something that your board can grant to the county. And so trying to split that out. So we've had discussions with the county to work through those issues and work through the entirety of all the roadway easements on one shot. So we're not splitting this up over many different years and different projects, is deal with all the easements in one shot, so it works for both entities as best it can. So even though it was noted in that substantial conformance letter back in 2022, it wasn't even ready to be discussed up until about this time.
Okay, so there was no way to save some time on it then?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, any other questions? Okay. Moving to 6E. Creditable recovery rates.
Thank you, Chairwoman Landon. So in review of FCC's second year operation, in regards to their achievement of the guaranteed minimum recovery levels, MSW has a set level at 22% and C&D 50% per contract. Between July 1st last year and June 30th this year, FCC was able to achieve a 19.64% MSW recovery rate, which is subject to a disincentive adjustment of $328,638.61. In accordance with the Fourth Amendment to the agreement that your board approved back in the December 2023 board meeting, looking at the January 1 to June 30th data for C&D, FCC achieved a C&D recovery rate of 43.22%, which was subject to a disincentive adjustment of $134,389.98. The net fiscal impact for this is a net disincentive adjustment of $463,028.59. For purpose of comparison's sake, last year's the net disincentive adjustment was $530,000. $39.54. With that, I'd be happy to answer any of your board's questions.
Okay, any questions on that?
Nope.
No? Okay, I thought you were thinking.
Well, I'm debating if I want to say anything. I was like, okay, so we've gone from 530,000 to 463. It's kind of an improvement, but, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
No real comment, sorry, just
Yeah.
tough observation.
Yeah. All right, moving to the consent agenda. Does anyone need to pull anything from consent? Okay. Any members of the public need to pull anything? All right, do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'll move approval of item 7, the consent agenda.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Halden and seconded by Director Albert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And moving to item 9, closed session.
Thank you, Chair. The board will now adjourn to closed session for the 2 litigation items noted in item 9 on your agenda.
Okay, we are back from closed session. Would Mr. Sandman read us out?
Thank you, Chair. The board adjourned to closed session for the two items identified in item 9 in your agenda. Council provided a report. No action was taken. That concludes the closed session report. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 10, reports from directors. Anything?
I got to take a tour of the big hole, and it was pretty impressive. It was, appreciated the explanation, the answering of all the weird questions, and again, very, very nice job, looking great.
Is there anything in it yet?
Besides the liner and the layer,
Yeah.
the rock and all, no garbage yet. And it sounds like, according to our thing, it
I didn't
passed
see the
inspection.
photos on Facebook, Scott. Did I miss them?
No, I just haven't, I'm way behind on stuff.
Okay, upcoming agenda items. Are there any items the board would like staff to address at a future meeting?
I have one thing. I wanted to, our meeting is scheduled, I think, for November 14th, our November meeting. And I just wanted to check with the board about who's going to be here on November 14th.
Oh, that's right. Do we? have one?
Because I know there's some events going on, including my
Um,
40th college reunion.
Well, that's the Placer Business
Yeah, it
Alliance as
is.
well.
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't notice that before. That is true. I will be gone.
Yeah, I'll be gone.
You'll be gone. So I just wonder if we could look at changing that date. If
We will look for an alternate date, so we'll work with your board to find a date that works.
Great,
Thank
good
you.
catch. Thank you.
well, my alternate would be gone too. So
Okay. Oh, okay.
I will not be on that trip, but I'll be.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
on-
guess mine would be.
On the agenda items, I think, I mentioned it last time, but I want to get back to our board configuration, make sure that's on our next agenda.
Yes. Okay, well, we should all be here next time, so then we can chat about it. Okay, anything else?
No.
Then with that, I will say we're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.